Oh boy, we have a crazy video for all Tesla stock investors. Today, Tesla was up 2%, then you fell to down 2%, now you're down about 0.5%. So you're making up some of that lost ground that you've seen really mid-trading day today. And there is a lot of breaking news you need to know as a Tesla stock investor, including Jim Cramer saying Tesla could hit $300 per share here in the short term. And as you know, when Jim Cramer is bullish on a stock, that stock does not tend to do well. We'll provide you all the context and clarity you need to know on that situation, as well as what are banks doing? Citi is laying off 10% of their workers, or is about to lay off 10% of their workers. That doesn't exactly sound great. Yields are soaring higher today, and Tesla, that $27,000 EV that Tesla is going to build in Europe, well, it's starting to hit major news agencies such as Reuters today, and the markets are not exactly looking at this in a positive light. We'll break that down as well. I think that's very important. You do not want to miss that. We'll go over it here in this video. Tesla is also reportedly raising wages for their European workers by about 4%. This is actually better than what we thought. So we have a jam-packed video to get into here today. Do me a quick favor before we get into it. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you guys want to come trade with us live in real time, link down below in the description of this video. You can come ask me questions personally, ask the group, come get involved, come learn, come grow. That is what that is for. Hopefully, we'll see you over there. So, oh boy, here we go. Tesla stock is trading lower on a report that Musk will make a $27,000 EV at Giga Berlin. Reuters reported Monday that Tesla, which has been keen to develop the production technology required to build a low-cost EV, would use the existing Berlin Gigafactory to produce a car that would sell for as little as 25,000 euros, about $26,872, a level that's less than half of the region's average price of 65,000 euros and well south of the cheapest Model 3 sedan at 43,000 euros. So why is this breaking news actually bad news for Tesla stock investors, or at least what looks like bad news for Tesla stock investors? Well, it's called cannibalism of your company, of your product. You're going to hear a lot of people say exactly what I'm about to say, but Elon and Tesla, they could totally cannibalize the Model 3 with a lower priced vehicle. Presumably, it would have a smaller range, maybe be a little bit smaller of a vehicle. That's probably what Europe would prefer. If you think about the country size of European countries, they're smaller than some states, right? Texas is bigger, I believe, than any other country in Europe. Your well-known countries, at least, like a Spain, like a France, a Germany, a UK, right? Italy. They're pretty small. They don't need that much range. So customers would probably love this because it's going to be so much cheaper. And I mean, European customers, they like smaller vehicles anyways. Over here, we like in the US across the pond, we like trucks, we like SUVs, we like big products. Not over there in Europe. It's a completely different story. And if Tesla is going to sell a lower priced vehicle that is more in line with what Europeans want, that could be bad news for the Model 3, which is selling at, like this article said, about 43,000 euros. Investors would want to see that lower price vehicle offset by something like FSD, which it doesn't look like FSD is going to sell a lot in these lower price versions. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just doubt that's going to be the case. And I think investors are doubting that here today. So your average selling price of a Tesla, well, it would be hurt by this. But the good news is Europe is only the third most important market. The US is number one, China is number two, and then you have the whole entirety of Europe. Now, obviously, if you're a long-term investor in Tesla, you buy and hold shares. This should mean virtually nothing to you because Tesla is more of a software company. It's the FSD, the robo-taxi story, the robot story down the line, the energy storage, the recurring revenues that could ultimately come from that. That's a much bigger pie than your actual auto business in the next 5 to 20 years. That's crumbs if you're worried about a $40,000 EV or a $37,000 EV, whatever the Model 3 is going for on any given day, or a $25,000 vehicle. So in the grand scope of things, do I think this is a big deal? Absolutely not. Do I think this could be good if it doesn't cannibalize the Model 3? Yes. Do investors feel that way? Clearly not if you're looking at Tesla stock today. This news also broke today that is not exactly great news for Tesla stock investors, but it's something we all have known is coming. Citing people familiar with the matter, Tesla executives just disclosed a 4% wage increase for workers at its site near Berlin. That is significantly lower than the big three automakers deal they just made with the UAW for about a 25% pay raise over the next 4.5 years. So we knew some wage hikes were coming for Tesla employees, and 4% is a lot lower than what a lot of people were thinking, but that could just be the start, and Wall Street is never going to like paying their employees more. Jim Cramer says Tesla is back and he expects the stock to rally. Elon Musk to outsmart UAW Sean Fain. Jim Cramer said this morning on Squawk on the Street, quote, Tesla is back. I think that stock goes to 300. As you know, when Jim Cramer speaks positively about a stock, it doesn't tend to do very well. When Jim Cramer is actually negative on a stock, it does better than when he is positive on a stock. This is the inverse Cramer ETF, and you can see it hasn't been spectacular throughout 2023, but it hasn't done that bad also. And again, there's an actual ETF that is SJIM for short Jim Cramer. That just tells you everything you need to hear. JP Morgan says this stock market rally is not sustainable. They say, quote, we believe that equities will soon revert back to an unattractive risk reward into year end. This analyst wrote in a note to clients, quote, as the Fed is set to remain higher for longer at the short end, markets could start to price in a policy mistake, leading to lower long yields down the line. And that might not ultimately be helpful for stocks, especially if 2024 earnings projections start to reset lower. We note seasonals are typically supportive at this time of the year, and the likely peak in bond yields is a short-term help, but this might not lead to a sustained bounce. This is along the same lines as what I have said recently. I do expect a tactical move higher from now heading into year end. Things can change, the situation can worsen, that is true, but I don't think there is enough to push markets lower, considering we just got the Fed, we just got earnings, we just got our labor market data. We're going to get inflation data here in, I believe, the next 10 days or so, so that's going to be your next big catalyst, but you got your catalyst out of the way. There's not a huge reason for stocks to fall at this point. But as we head into a slowdown in the economy, this quarter we're in Q4 and likely Q1 2024, that's where the fears of a recession will come about. That's when you could see more downside for our markets. So I think personally right now, you want to be selectively buying stocks like a Tesla, but also keeping a lot of cash on the sidelines to take advantage of the deals when you do ultimately get them. And I think it's a question of when rather than if you're going to get deals on stocks. That is obviously my opinion. That is not financial advice. I do not have a crystal ball. Contact a financial advisor if you are curious on investing or you don't understand what I just said, but don't make a trade based off of my opinions on the markets. We also had this news come out today. Citigroup considers deep job cuts for CEO Jane Fraser's overhaul called Project Bora Bora. They're looking at potentially laying off 10% of their total headcount. Citi employs about 240,000 people. That could be in the range of 20 to 30,000 job cuts that could be coming here pretty soon. And when banks are laying off employees, that is usually not the best sign. And it's not really a confidence builder for what is to come. A University of Manitoba engineering team is celebrating receiving a new sponsorship from Tesla. Tesla is donating 2,170 battery cells for the team to use in its next electric car design. Space Campers has put out a mock-up of their basically camper for the Cybertruck, which is just an extension of the Cybertruck bed itself. It's really a kitchen area, to be more specific. And honestly, it would be pretty cool to have for someone that is outdoorsy, that is planning to, go off-road, do some of these things, or maybe even just go camping with the Cybertruck and have a literal kitchen in the back of your Cybertruck. I think this could be pretty cool, and probably one of many more different add-ons that we will see over time for the Cybertruck. Drive Tesla is showing us 2 Cybertrucks spotted off-roading in the Tahoe National Forest, handled a level 4 trail, quote, like a boss. And you guys can see, look at that clearance. That is some pretty nice clearance there. I don't even think that's like suspended or anything. That should just be the factory suspension that you're seeing there. And yeah, getting down and dirty on what looks like level 4 trail. It's got to be something that is more on the difficult side rather than the easy side. Tesla Asia posted this on their X account of Tesla at the China International Import Expo. Looks like a convention, and as you can see, here are all of the Tesla products and some of the manufacturing capabilities of Tesla, including robots, steering wheels, different accessories. Tesla has established a holding company in Barcelona, Spain. The new entity was listed by the BOE, the official gazette of the Kingdom of Spain. And if you look at the comments of this post from Sawyer Merritt, people have no idea why, and honestly, I don't either. So expect to hear something over the coming weeks and months. 650 anonymous Ford dealerships between June and October were polled. Nearly half, 48% of its dealers, said they don't trust the automaker. Toyota has now built 300 million cars in its 88-year history. Tesla China VP Teo Lin says a car can come off the production line in about 30 seconds at Giga Shanghai. She added that Giga castings reduced manufacturing time from 1 to 2 hours to 3 to 5 minutes. BMW sees itself leading Tesla on batteries. Quote, Tesla needs to close the gap with us. Tesla has officially opened their new Giga Berlin office. This even has a robot that can make you drinks, and it looks very futuristic to me. A pretty cool design overall, if I were to say so myself. Bulgaria reported 40 Tesla sales for October. This is 379% higher than last year's total. New Zealand reported 144 Tesla sales and 1.4% market share for October. Year to date, this is actually a decline of about 13%. The UK reported 2,677 Tesla sales and 1.7% market share for October. Year to date, you're up 80%. And Belgium reported 1,104 Tesla sales and a 2.9% market share for October, and this number is truly impressive. Year to date, you are 475% higher than last year's number in this same time period. Today, you are seeing a slight uptick in Model Y inventory, but it's a minimal one where you are seeing the Model 3, the Model X, and the Model S all declining. Google Trends continues to show a nice uptick in trend volume for Google searches of the Cybertruck, most notably, that has remained elevated since October 15th, and your Model 3 has started to tick up a little bit, as well as your Model Y. Tesla continues to advertise about 300 different ads, mostly in the US, but as well as Europe and some energy ads over in Australia. And this is actually cool. If you search EV news, you get a sponsored post from Tesla. And this ad that was targeted towards me, apparently, it says, starting at $36,490, a Tesla Model Y built in America. It says up to 330 miles of range, charge at home, or at 50,000 plus superchargers globally. Tesla continues to see some very strong option activity today. You have seen 495 orders from hedge funds and institutions worth almost $83 million with a positive order value of 62%. Tesla continues to be about 3% short, with a short position total of almost $18 billion. Remember, Tesla is about 2.5% of the entire stock market's short interest. So 3% short interest doesn't look like a lot, but when it's on a $700 billion company, well, that's a lot. Oil is up about 1/3% today. The dollar is up almost 1/4% today. Gold is slightly down. So gold being down is a good sign. The dollar being up is not exactly great. If the dollar starts to break out higher from here, which it has taken a move lower ever since the last Fed meeting, but this is something the Fed did highlight. If the dollar continues higher, that will affect Fed policy as well as stocks. If stocks move lower, and what the overall inflation outlook looks like. Tesla's stock on a technical basis could look better. Currently, you are under your 200-day moving average. It is a battleground heading into the last half an hour or so of trading. You have retraced a lot from the lows, so it looks like some solid demand came in once you tested about 215. So that's a little bit of good news, but we really want to see a retracement back above that 200-day moving average. Now, if you're looking at the RSI, that is at about 43. The neutral level is 50. So you are still on the oversold side. The MACD, on the other hand, short term looks pretty good. The yellow line breaking above the blue line. Overall, you want to see Tesla stock hold that 200-day moving average over the next coming days and then start to actually make your way higher. It looks like this 226, 227 level is acting as a lot of resistance right now. So you want to see a close at the high end of this range we've been trading at, and then to ultimately break out from there, sending us into the 230s. As I have stated a couple times, I do think in this latest rally, you could see Tesla stock easily break back to about that 245 to 255 range. So that is going to do it for this video. Do not miss the next video coming out at 9 p.m. tonight. We're going to go over a lot of other information that I think you guys need to know, as well as cover the option activity numbers for the day today. It looks like you're probably going to be over $1 billion. And if I were to imagine, it's probably going to look pretty positive. So we'll get into depth a little bit more on that, and also take a look at all of your Tesla stock news you need to know later tonight. So that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. They are both free 99. Consider sharing this video with a friend, pal, group, or multiple individuals that need to hear this information to stay up to date with what's going on with Tesla stock. My name is Michael Tyler. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.